Hi, I'm Mina Suvari, and you're listening to the Horror Squad podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Horror Squad podcast. This is episode number 293, where tonight we are going to be talking about 1998's The Faculty in honor of Back to School Week. I know it's happening. I'm sorry for our younger listeners and for our older listeners, the parents. Yippee, I suppose, for most of you. I am Joe. We also have Steve. Todd will be coming on a little bit later, so don't worry, we are not Toddless tonight. He will be coming along very shortly. But Steve, what's up, man? Halloween Horror Nights fastly approaching for you. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm super ready. I'm just so over not, going on vacation. I just can't wait to do something horror and be among the fog. So I'm going in a week from today, so I'm pretty excited. It's going to be a great time. And you went to an event this weekend, right? So how was that?
I did. I wanted to ask you real quick though.
Oh
What
yeah.
is your most anticipated IP house and then most anticipated original house?
So phew, that's a tough one. For IP, I'm gonna say probably Stranger Things because I think Vecna's lair is gonna be fucking awesome, and I have a feeling they're gonna put the most money into that house, and so I think it could be something really, really special. I'm pretty psyched about The Last of Us as well because that's a really cool world, and if they realize that properly, I think it could be awesome. And who knows with The Exorcist because I haven't seen it, so it could be cool. Exorcist, the original, was one of my favorite houses ever. So maybe The Exorcist Believer will be cool as well. So yeah, those are probably IP. But if I had to pick one, I'd say Stranger Things. As far as non-IP, I would go with Dr. Oddfellow's Twisted Origins, which is kind of the theme for this year. He seems to be like an oddities collector, and he does like crazy shit. So I feel there's gonna be some weird shit in that house, and I like that. So we'll see what happens. But it's a strong year. I'm very happy with the lineup this year. And I just heard recently a rumor, I don't know if this is confirmed, that not only will they have their regular houses, scare zones, and IPs and all that stuff, but they're also going to have, they're calling them roaming hordes. So these are hordes of different things that are going to just happen within the park. You have Death Eaters in the Harry Potter section, which is going to be pretty cool. You have a roaming horde of Megans that are apparently going to show up and just like walk down the street. And you might bump into David-esque pumpkins at certain points in the park as well. So I think that's really cool. So I'm really looking forward to it. So I'll talk about it on episode 295, so in 2-3 weeks. And I can't wait. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast. I'm pretty bummed I'm not going, but hopefully make it back next year. It is a really good lineup this year, so can't wait to hear the full rundown when you do come back from that. As far as my event, Sam and I headed out to New Jersey. She was invited as a guest to Party City's kickoff to Halloween event. We went to their flagship store, which was in Rockaway, New Jersey. So it was about 4 hours away from us. And yeah, I mean, I gotta say, Party City really did it up, man. Yeah, they really have stepped up their game, I would say, on Halloween decor and animatronics. They are really trying to, I think, rival Spirit in a lot of ways now. And yeah, so we got there. They gave us like free costumes to wear. So I wore like a little skeleton outfit. Sam did like a little witch outfit. And yeah, I mean they fucking did it up, man. Open bar for the whole night and free food, and they gave Sam like this really cool goodie bag with a whole bunch of stuff in it. And then they let us go into the store, and they gave Sam like a gift card so she could do like a little shopping spree. And yeah, I'm so if you want to see like sort of what Party City has this year, you can head over to Sam's Instagram at Halloween Happy. And she did like a 30-minute video, sort of a whole walkthrough of the entire event. And man, I gotta say, their animatronics this year were real. Their Leatherface blows, I think, every other Leatherface animatronic out of the water, like compared to Spirits. And I think Lowe's did one as well. But Party Cities looks legit. Like the face on it, like looks like identical. It doesn't look cheap at all. You know, the bodies on animatronics are always sort of to be desired, but the face is really what you want on that thing, and it looks awesome. And the chainsaw, he does like go kind of up and down. It looks really fucking cool. They also did a creep show, which I thought was really cool. It is the new Creeper from the television series, but it still looks really awesome because you really don't see a lot of Creep Show merchandise. So for them to do like a full-size Creeper animatronic, I thought was really cool. And he's fairly priced at $248, which isn't too bad for something like that. Leatherface was sold out. I went to them. I was like, I want to buy this Leatherface, and he was completely sold out. So I put my name on the wait list for around here. So they are supposed to contact me once Leatherface becomes available. So we will see about that. But yeah, overall, they had a lot of great stuff. Like they have Trick or Treat Studios, masks and stuff like that. And just a lot of great stuff this year. I was very impressed with their whole setup. So yeah, good job, Party City.
Awesome. Have you picked up anything Halloween related yet this year, or are you still kind of eyeing stuff?
Yeah, no, not yet. I mean, I'm mainly out of room, in this apartment. So I'm very particular now on what I'm picking up. And even like, I really want that Leatherface animatronic. And I told Sam, I was like, I'll just have to put it in storage until we move and find a place. But I really do want to get that because, I mean, I got a full size Michael and I got a full size Jason. So I would love to add Leatherface and Freddy to sort of do the quad trinity there of slashers. So I would love to do that. So we'll see. Yeah. And then we went and saw Strays over the weekend as well, non-horror wise. But the best part of that is that they played the Exorcist trailer in front of it, and people were like losing their shit because like, you're going to see like this movie about dogs, like a adult dog movie, and they play, and like someone was like, am I in the right theater? And like people were like disturbed and shit like that. It was so funny. But I gotta say, the more touch that trailer, the more pumped I actually am for that movie. I am actually very excited about it. As far as Strays goes, one and done for Strays.
That's awesome. Really cool. And I just have to mention this because last week we did have our movie night over on our Discord, and it was a great time. We watched Maximum Overdrive, which is, I believe, Stephen King's only directed film. I might be wrong. He might have directed something else, but I think that's at least his most famous one. So he both wrote and directed that one. And we had a great time. What a wild fucking movie. I'm not going to have on my watch because I have other stuff, but yeah, definitely one to watch. It's a good one. So thank you, everyone, and I look forward to doing it again every last Friday of the month. So the next one will be sometime in late September. And we got Todd coming in right before the news segment. Todd, how's it going? Anything new?
Just in time for my cup of Joe. Is anything new? No, just a lot of sports, normal shit like that. Going to the gym. Happy to report. I have to wake up at 5:30 every morning for the kids because they have to get on the bus at 6:38, which is ungodly time to start school, which is stupid as hell. But anyway, I'm like, either I go to work where no one's going to be there because it's like a very relaxed office, or I go back to bed, which is stupid, or go to the gym. So going to the gym 2 weeks strong, feeling good, and that's all I got to report.
All right, that's awesome. So how about we spill a little tea?
Oh, you want the tea? I'm sorry. We don't serve tea. Nope. Instead, you get a cup of Joe. And now here's Joe with the news.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Chuck. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, your cup of Joe for the week. Let's start off with the sad news. I'm no longer ending with the sad news. I'm starting with the sad news. And unfortunately, I am here to report that we have lost one of us this week, a fellow horror fan, but most widely known as WWE superstar Bray Wyatt, passed away at the very young age of 36. I would liken him to sort of a modern day Undertaker in a lot of ways. He was known for his creepy entrances and creepy sort of promos he would cut. And also, most notably, horror-related, Tom Savini was the one that created a lot of his masks that he would wear to and wrestle in the ring to. So yeah, I haven't heard, have they released, Steve, you being the big wrestling guy, have they released his cause of death yet?
Yeah, so apparently he had COVID, and from complications from that, he suffered a heart attack. So official cause of death, I think, was a heart attack.
Tragic. Yeah, absolutely tragic. So I know, I mean, he was one of the biggest, wrestling superstars today. So yeah, it was a very shocking news, and thoughts and prayers to him and his family. Yeah, but Bray Wyatt, dead at 36. All right. It's always hard to transition from that. But next bit of news here is some info on, I know you guys have heard about it, this supposed 13 Ghost TV series that is supposedly in development. Well, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Is it all just a rumor? Well, Bloody Disgusting, credit to them, they tried to get to the bottom of it. They reached out to a lot of people. And from what we have heard, what we are hearing is it is being talked about. But what is messing things up right now, of course, the strike. The actors' strike is really messing things up right now. Apparently, they went to Sony currently. So the big sticking point also is that Sony and Dark Castle both own different rights to 13 Ghosts. And in order for this TV series to happen, Dark Castle is going to have to strike a deal with Sony to acquire the rest of the rights or just team up together on it. So as of right now, it is in development. Now, whether it's actually going to happen or not, it's very questionable at this point in time. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be awesome for it to happen, but what do you guys think? Do you want to see a rehash? Do you want to see a TV series of 13 Ghosts?
Not really. If I'm being honest, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm indifferent.
I feel the same way. I know, like I don't care. So I don't know. It's just there's so many other things they can do. I don't know if this story necessarily needs a new one. If they do it, I'll probably watch it, but I'm not particularly psyched about it.
Right. I'll be the differing voice. I think it could be really awesome because I think the movie had left a lot to be desired. You know, it wasn't great. And I think there's so much to explore with those 13 ghosts. And also, I read in this TV series, they really want to explore the machine that sort of, creates them. So, I think it could be a really awesome show. Would I rather see a movie? Probably. I think stretching it into a TV series probably isn't necessary. Yeah, I think put it in the right hand. You put it on Sci-Fi. I'm not as excited, but you put it on something like HBO, somewhere where they could really dig their teeth in and give you the gore and stuff like that. It could be really awesome. So we'll see. Speaking of Sci-Fi, Chucky is returning. Chucky season 3 will premiere on October 4th. Season 2, it got better as the season, I think, progressed. But did you, either of you guys finish? Am I the only one that finished season 2?
I did.
You did. What'd you think of it?
The last 2 or 3 episodes were pretty good, but oof, man, it was a rough road to get to those couple last episodes. I think my gripe with it is that the story just went in a totally different way from season 1. It just all of a sudden they're in another school, and it's just this whole weird setup for season 2 that I just didn't understand, and it took a long time to kind of recover from that initial what the fuck. But it did end well, so hopefully season 3 they kind of get what works and what doesn't.
Alrighty, well, we'll see how season 3 does. Check it out, coming in October. All right, calling all John Carpenter fans. Fathom Events is doing a very special John Carpenter event. So you can check out, they will be screening They Live on September 3rd and September 6th, followed by the following week, Christine on September 10th and 13th. So if you want to see either of those Carpenter classics on the big screen, head over to Fathom Events for your tickets. I think, Todd, you picked up tickets for They Live, was it?
I did. I'm doing They Live, Christine, and The Exorcist.
Nice.
Exorcist is out in October on the same site, Fathom Events, so check it out.
Very nice, which I think is associated with AMC theaters, if I'm not mistaken. Cinemark. Okay, around here it's AMC.
At least that's where I'm going. So maybe
okay, Cinemark, AMC. So just check out Fathom Events and see if it's playing at theaters around you. Alrighty. Next bit of news here is Halloween season is fastly approaching, which means all the goodies are coming, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Peacock just announced a massive Halloween lineup. They will be dumping over 100 horror movies to their streaming platform this September. I won't go over the whole list, but head to peacock.com. But you got some really good ones in here. You got like pretty much the whole Amityville series, a lot of the Chucky series. You got Ghostbusters.
Pretty
you got
good ones, Joe. All the Amityville movies.
Yeah, all like 38 of them.
That's where they got 45% of their movies just on
Yeah,
that freaking
exactly.
franchise. Does it have
But you-
Amityville Karens? Steve
It
said.
does not
Amityville
have-
Death Toilet, which I just watched like last week.
No, you have the actual good ones. So you got like
Okay.
Amityville 2, Amityville 3, Amityville The Awakening, which came out last year, which I don't
Okay.
remember if I like that or not. I already forget. But you get, I mean, there's going to be so much good here. You got, a lot of the Chucky franchise. You get a lot of the Halloween franchise, Grudge series, a lot, Psycho, the entire Psycho franchise also on here as well, including the beloved remake. So, as well as the whole Saw series, Saw 1 through all the way to the final chapter. So, yeah, if you are not into the Peacock, might be, subscribe for a month and you can watch a ton, or 2 months and you can watch a shitload of horror over there.
It's speaking of Halloween goodies. I was at the grocery store and I ran into the orange-filled Oreos,
Yes.
which I could not find last year. There must have been like an orange dye shortage or some bullshit. But I am like super pumped about that, so I need to go grab some.
Yeah, Halloween like supermarket food is always like so cool. Like, see, I love every time I see the cereal monster like stuff finally popping up and stuff. It gets me so. And
Some Count Chocula.
and just pure fact, the orange Oreos are the best Oreos.
Fact, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Scientifically proven.
Yeah, not just in your head. All right. Well, I know Halloween season's right around the corner, but perhaps something to look forward to for Christmas season, especially Steve. Werewolf Santa, ladies and gentlemen, will be howling. It's into theaters this Christmas, just in time. It is slated to be released November 2023. The film centers on Santa Claus, who turns into a werewolf on Christmas Eve and wreaks havoc in a small seaside town, with a local YouTuber setting off an adventure to save Christmas from this new threat. All right, I liked it up
we
until
lost me.
the new. Yeah, you lost me once I got the local YouTuber setting.
No.
That's not all right, but it's probably gonna be
Deadstream
terrible,
was
actually.
great.
I was gonna
Deadstream
say
great.
Deadstream was good,
Yeah.
Sissy was good, Influencer was not bad. Like, it doesn't mean necessarily that it's gonna be bad. So who
You
knows?
love that one with Amy Army, that girl. Damn it. Joke ruined.
Yeah,
Death Cab. What's it fucking called? 911. I don't know what it's called anymore.
Oh, Spree? Is that what you're talking
No,
about?
the one
No.
with the girl.
Oh,
Annie.
Oh, Christ.
Oh.
Yeah, fuck no. Dash cam?
Dash
Cam,
cam.
there you go.
Yeah. You almost had it.
Oh, yeah.
Paper effort.
I'm not gonna be too sharp on the trivia tonight.
All right, well, maybe something to cover around Christmas time. I think that could be a fun one, so we'll see. No, it doesn't say whether it's going to get a theater release. I assume probably not, probably a VOD release, but who knows? Slaughterhouse is getting a theater release, so you never know these days, ladies and gentlemen.
And good
All
reviews.
right, and then
I don't know if you heard that, but
Slaughterhouse is getting good reviews?
they're getting. I've seen a lot of like 7, 8s out of 10. So
Really?
yeah, I'm surprised. It's pretty good. They said the
Alright.
only issue is that it maybe needed more gore, but outside of that, apparently we're looking at a new horror icon from what I hear. So I'm pretty psyched about it. Not psyched
Well,
enough to see it in theaters, but
yes.
psyched to watch it on the
Yeah,
VOD.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so the last piece of news here is Halloween season, ladies and gentlemen. We're in it. We're pretty much in it now. We're into September. And I think when this episode releases, are we into September? We're just about
September
into
1st.
September. Yes. All right. So here we are. We're into September. It is the beauty of Halloween season. So let's go over some of the movies to look forward to this Halloween season as it fastly approaches. The number one I wanted to mention, which I haven't seen a trailer for yet, but for you R.L. Stine lovers, we have an adaptation coming out called Zombie Town. The reason I bring this up is because it stars Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase, of all people. So that immediately piqued my interest. So yeah, we're definitely gonna. It says in the movie, the duo, which is Aykroyd and Chevy Chase, must track down an infamous filmmaker and navigate a town of hungry zombies to break the curse before it's too late. Could be really fun. So we'll see. This one I had to throw on there because the movie is called Good Boy. And what the movie is about a man who acts like a pet dog and goes on a killing spree. And I don't know if you can see, I can try to show Stephen Todd here, but this is the image.
I like it.
And it looks quite haunting. So that is, I think, one that you might want to put on your radar. Also coming out, of course, the highly anticipated for Steve, The Nun 2 will be hitting theaters September 8th, which we are going to be covering on the podcast. Also, here's one I think that looks really cool. And I actually saw a poster for it when I was in the theaters. Is a movie called Satanic Hispanics. And it releases in theaters on September 14th. This is actually a horror anthology movie. And the reason I bring it up is Eduardo Sanchez is actually one of the directors attached to doing one of these movies, as well as Demian Rugna, who did a movie Todd loved, which was Terrified. I know you were a big fan of that one. Yeah. Also, Alejandro Brugues, who did One of the Dead, which was another good one. So a lot of really good Latin filmmakers are going to be doing this movie. So that is definitely one I think that could be really cool. Yeah, absolutely. Another one I think that could be really fun, Elevator Game, releasing September 15th. That one, based on the infamous sort of, press the buttons on the elevator opens and you're supposed to see sort of a ghost. I don't know if you guys know that sort of urban legend thing, but I think that one could be potentially fun. One that I am really excited about, It Lives Inside. I don't know if you guys have seen a trailer for this one, but that one looks really cool. It's about sort of a girl that kind of welcomes like a demon in, and it looks like it could be really creepy. And what else do we got here? Saw X, of course, September 29th, highly anticipated on that one as well. I know we will definitely be covering that one. Here's one we haven't really talked about, Pet Sematary Bloodlines, October 6th. We'll be hitting Paramount Plus. That one is going to be this one is going to be a prequel of the original Pet Sematary. So we will see about that one. Also, VHS 1985 will be hitting Shudder on we'll be hitting October 6th over on Shudder. So check that one out. Also, Exorcist Believer, October 13th in theaters. That is one I know for sure we will also definitely be covering. And then Five Nights at Freddy's hits Halloween weekend on October 27th. So there it is. A little, this year hasn't been great for horror so far, but maybe some stuff to look forward to coming up for Halloween season. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is your Cup of Joe for this week.
Awesome. Well, watch.
Yeah, well watched. I do got something. I went and saw Coraline the other week. Sam and I, so Sam was invited to, she got free passes to go to a screening of Coraline. She has seen it. I had never seen it before, so I was pretty interested to see what it was going to be. Coraline, it was for some sort of anniversary. Coraline put out by Laika, I believe is the company who does a lot of stop motion animation. And yeah, so this one is about a young girl who, she's kind of, I guess, bored with her life, and her parents aren't really paying attention to her and stuff like that. She's moved into this new apartment building and she finds a door, and one night the door sort of opens and she enters into an alternate universe where it's her parents and like everything looks exactly the same except everyone has buttons for eyes, but they seem like the perfect
other mother.
Yes, the other mother. Yes. So everything seems really perfect in this alternate universe, but things also seem a little off. And she starts to realize maybe it ain't as perfect as she once realized. And I'll leave it at that for those who haven't seen it. Yeah, I ended up really enjoying this one. It was surprisingly really dark for a children's movie. There is like some legitimately like scary things in here for young children, and there's also like a lot of adult humor as well. Like there's one point where like there's a woman who's like almost completely naked in pasties and she has boobs that are like enormous, and I was like, wow, this is pretty risque for a movie. But I am a sucker for stop motion. We going to this special screening, they did, featurettes before and after the movie of just like all the work it took to do all the stop motion stuff. And it was really impressive, and it made me appreciate the movie even more. This is one I definitely would add to my sort of Halloween time rotation. It was really good. It has like a lot of sort of heart in it as well towards the end. But yeah, a great movie. I give it 4 out of 5. Really enjoyed it.
Nice. My first one is a 2023 film that I watched over on Tubi, and it's called The Head Mistress. So this is a story of a group of people who go to a this like giant house that used to be a school, I believe, and they're trying to evaluate if it's worth purchasing and like kind of make an investment out of that property. It's really deep into the woods, so they're like far away from civilization, and they agree to kind of check out the house for 2 hours and then leave and make a decision on whether or not to buy it. But of course, there's a dark history at this location, and as they're looking through the house, they start unraveling mysteries as to what happened there. And there are kind of these ghost type figures that start appearing. When they go back to the car to leave, the car is gone. So they're stuck at the property for at least one night, and that's when shit really goes down. This is a very low budget film, so don't expect too much out of this. And I was kind of expecting the worst, but honestly, it's actually not too bad. It does feel a little bit long at times, and the editing needed to be tightened a little bit, and the acting was kind of hit and miss. A lot of the stuff that you regularly get for low budget movies, but I was really into the mystery. The location is really cool. It was all shot in this actual like giant house, which was really cool, and it was fun to explore with the characters. The effects are actually pretty good. The scares are decent. This was better than I expected. So if you're looking for kind of a 2023 ghost film, there haven't been too many this year, and you go in with kind of low expectations because it is a very low budget film, I would recommend this one. I gave it 2 stars out of 5. That is The Head Mistress. You got another one, Joe?
Very nice. I do. I have a 2023 release that you can check out VOD. It just released recently, so it is going to cost you a little bit of money. But this one is called Cobweb. I had seen a lot of people talking about this one, so I wanted to check it out. Plus, the poster art was kind of interesting to me. This one stars Lizzie Kaplan, who horror fans might know from Cloverfield, and non-horror fans might know from Mean Girls, among other things. And it also stars Anthony Starr, Homelander himself. So this one is about a young, I see Todd perked up there. This one is about a young 8-year-old boy named Peter. I think they've moved into sort of a new house. I'm not 100% sure if it's a new house or not, but it's like, it has a really cool aesthetic to it. Like this very like sort of Gothic style house. And he starts hearing tapping on the walls at night. And then he starts hearing voices in the wall. His parents kind of say, it's all in your head, whatnot. And his parents also seem a bit off as well, but you really can't put your finger on it. And then the little girl starts talking in the wall saying, help me, like I'm your sister. And I'll just leave it at that because, I don't want to spoil anything. This movie, like I said, the movie it has a great atmosphere. It's set around Halloween time, so it has like that great sort of Halloween aesthetic. You have kids carving pumpkins in the school. You have their whole backyard is actually one big pumpkin patch as well, which does play into the story. But yeah, so it has the great sort of Halloween aesthetic I love to see. Also very good cinematography and great acting as well. I really love the parent. Kaplan and Anthony Starr give great performances here as sort of the creepy parents. The first 2/3 of this movie, I was totally in on. I was like, this is potential to be a top 10 contender. But unfortunately, it lost me in the final act when everything they try to put everything together. The reveal of what's in the wall ends up coming off goofy rather than terrifying, and that's all because of CGI. Unfortunately, CGI just ruined it. I wish they went practical, but they did not, and it just didn't come off scary. It just really came off more laughing rather than terrified. So it was disappointing. However, I still think it's a decent watch, especially for October this year. Definitely a decent Halloween time watch. Not something that's going to make my top 10 though, unfortunately. So I give it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm psyched for that one anyway. It's unfortunate that it doesn't kind of end well, but still going to check it out soon, I think. So my final one is also a 2023 film. I watched this one over on Shudder, and it's a Spanish film by the name of The Communion Girl. So The Communion Girl is about a family, and they're going to the kind of youngest daughter's communion. And once they're there, there's a woman who's looking for a little girl that she can't find, and they don't know where she is. And the family's like, we've never heard of her. Sorry, I don't know. So they just kind of leave it at that. And they go home, and the eldest daughter, she's like a partier, she goes out with her friends, takes a little bit of drugs, meets some sketchy guys there, and they're on their way home, and they see like a white figure go across the road in the woods. So they almost crash the car. The eldest daughter gets out of the car thinking it might be the lost communion girl from earlier in the film, and she goes into the woods and finds this creepy kind of doll that's there. That they're apparently, it's a Spanish thing where communion girls have like a doll that they get, and it's like a tradition there. So she takes the doll home, and suddenly she starts seeing that she has these weird kind of burn marks or scars on her body that she doesn't know where it came from. She talks to her friend who was in the car, and she's also starting to get the same type of marks. And she hears about a legend where if you cross a white figure in the woods, then you are kind of going to be haunted by that figure until it drives you insane and you kill yourself. And that's kind of what the story is. It's a race of them trying to figure out what's going on, how they can stop it, kind of an investigation horror type thing before it's too late and the figure that's haunting them, leads them to kill themselves. I get strong vibes of La Llorona and The Ring in this movie, both in the way that it's presented, the way that the kind of demons or ghosts look, and I really dug it. It's actually a really good film. There's some really good scares in it. There's some great practical effects. There are some, fortunately, a couple bad CGI effects as well, but I was really into it. I love investigation horror. I love folklore from other countries. Like you hear a lot of the kind of North American folklore, but to see one from Spain was cool because I didn't really know that story, even though it's a kind of a story that we've heard a million times in different variations, the figure that crosses you in the woods. And I thought it was a good take on that. And I was kind of almost going to give it a 4 out of 5 because I did really enjoy it. But after the end, which I loved, there's like a end to the end, like a little add-on to the end, which knocked it down to 3.5 because I don't know, it was kind of goofy and stupid. Kind of, I think what Joe was saying with Cobweb. But I do recommend people check it out. So that is The Communion Girl over on Shudder.
Nice.
Cool. Trivia. All right. Quarter number 3 is myself, Todd, and Lee with 15. Joe, second place, 10. Steve, third place, 8. Any man's game. We got plenty of time left. Who would like to lead off today?
I'll lead us off.
Oh, shit.
In honor of Back to School Week, I have all school-themed horror trivia this week. So
interesting.
There you go.
There's a lot in horror.
The Faculty.
Yes. 3 points.
Yes, exactly. All right. So first question. In Scream, Sydney says that Woodsboro during the enforced curfew reminds her of this horror movie.
The Crazies.
Incorrect.
Fucking Sydney.
After Steve, I'll try to paint the scene picture a little bit better.
Okay.
Maybe it'll help you.
Black Christmas. I have no idea.
Incorrect. So if you recall, in the original Scream, it is Sydney, Tatum, and Dewey. They get out of the police car, and everyone's kind of running to their town.
I know what you did last summer.
No, and Sydney looks around. She says, "Wow, look at this place. It reminds me of."
Is the horror film extremely well known?
Yes.
Okay. Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Incorrect. Sydney says, "Wow, look at this place. It reminds me of the town that dreaded sundown."
Damn.
Yeah, nice. I don't remember that at all. That's a good question.
I like Sydney even better now. All right. I got a Blu-ray for you.
Oh, yeah.
When a young man uses the chemical to bring his girlfriend back to life after a motorcycle accident, she is driven to eat the only thing that will nourish her. human. She tries to stop her own feeding frenzy, but a chain reaction has already begun. I'll leave it there. Go ahead.
The motorcycle accident's throwing me off.
Me too. Yeah.
I don't.
Okay. Interesting.
Can you? Is there a year? Do you have a year?
Let's go with
Or even a decade.
the 90s.
The 90s.
It
This
is a sequel.
Oh. Return of the Living Dead, Part 3.
Correct. Pull that out of your ass.
Yeah.
I did.
As you were saying it, I remembered exactly what you're. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's good. And it's a really cool title by Vestron.
Nice. All right. My first category, as always, guess the movie based off the IMDb parental guide. And like Joe, these are all school-related movies. So also keeping it to the back to school. So there's a hint already. Sex and nudity. Teenagers get sexually excited often. A high school boy tells his peers about how he masturbates to a schoolgirl.
Oh.
What is Todd's childhood?
Right? Violence and gore.
Not weird.
Right. A boy flies into a rage and attacks two other boys. The violence is especially gruesome when the boy rips out a nose ring from one of their noses, and blood is seen gushing from the young man's nose as a result.
I can picture this. I can picture this scene, but I can't think of
All
it.
right. Profanity. Numerous profanities throughout, including damn, hell, shit, 15 fucks, and bitch. Not too helping there.
Yep.
Alcohol, drugs, and smoking. Several instances of underage smoking and drinking, which isn't a ton of help either. But this is the one. Frightening and intense scenes. The perfect society could frighten some viewers.
Perfect society. Frighten some viewers. Man,
That one's not ringing a bell.
it's not.
The Perfect Society?
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Disturbing behavior.
That's correct. I was gonna say that's a
Joe.
theme. That's a theme of the movie.
It's a good movie.
It is a good movie. Yeah,
I haven't
Faculty
seen, I
reminds
haven't
me a
seen
lot
it
of it.
forever. Yeah. All right, back to me.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to give you a bunch of details of the movie. Tell me this if you can guess it and remember the theme.
Mhm.
This movie was released in 2009 with an R rating. It clocks in at a nice 1 hour and 24 minutes.
Perfect.
Yeah, seriously. Not what I was thinking already.
The tagline of this movie is "You don't have to die to go to hell."
I'm gonna go Halloween.
Incorrect.
What was the first detail again? I'm sorry. The release date? Was that what you said?
2009.
Okay. 2009.
Rated
Don't have to
R.
die.
1 hour, 24 minutes. The director, Sean Byrne. Also the writer. Cast: Xavier Samuel as Brent, Robin McLeavy as Princess, John Brumpton as Daddy.
Man, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank here.
I'll pass, Steve. If you want to take another shot
No,
at it.
I have no idea right now.
School
Was that
related?
all of it?
That's yes. I can try to give you more if you would like.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Let me do what Steve just did and see if I can pull up a parental guide here. I'll give you the frightening and intense scenes.
All right.
There are 2 sex scenes in the movie. Not particularly graphic, but definitely sex. A teenage boy and a teenage girl have sex in a car. You can see her bare breasts. He
Oh.
kisses them. The girl goes down on the boy while another girl watches from the outside.
That was Jennifer's
The
body.
loved ones.
Yes.
Oh, is it?
You
No,
are correct,
there-
Todd. It
never
is
seen
The
that
Loved
one.
Ones.
Oh man.
Oh, you don't
dude,
see? Oh
that's
man,
amazing.
that's when we definitely have
It was
to
on my
watch.
top of the decade for sure. That was a great
It's
movie.
a great movie. You should definitely watch it, Steve.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I'll put it on my list.
Absolutely.
It's on Tubi, at least in the US.
Am
Actually, I own
not
a French
pretty
DVD
enough?
Blu-ray. Is my heart too broken? All right.
Sam, I'm a big
Tagline.
fan of that one too.
Tagline plus the Blu-ray.
Okay.
Mastermind of Death. Moving on to the description. Something's twisted in Knob Hollow. In the midst of a torrid affair with Loretta, a biker's wife, Lance discovers that the tiny town's weirdest residents, the Stackpool family, have been doing some hideous human experiments in the bowels of their basement. Lance blackmails Myron Stackpool and his physically controlling siblings into murdering Loretta's husband, but Lance soon finds that he's way in over his head. John Miram and his creepy clan in their dysfunctional, disfigured den of demented decadence.
Is it head of the family?
You are correct.
Nice.
Damn, I didn't think anyone would get this one.
I'm a full moon expert, Todd.
Look at that little creepy fucker.
Yeah, I know.
Nice.
He is fucking sick in that movie too.
Weird. It's a weird fucking movie.
Yeah, it is. All right. Guess the movie based off the Did You Know section of IMDb.
Okay.
But I'm going to go backwards because they get, easier, I think, this way.
Right.
Soundtracks. Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by the Platters. He's rare. Oh,
Night of the Creeps.
Jesus. Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
Yeah, boy. Thank you.
They just announced speaking of high school horror, they just announced a Night of the Demons marathon at my local
Oof.
cinema. They're playing
Dude.
part 1, 2, and 3. So I think I'm
Nice.
gonna attend. Yeah,
That's awesome.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the end
Oh,
at the end of this month.
You definitely gotta do that. Speaking of Night of the Demons, Scream Factory is doing 1, 2, and 3 on Blu-ray, which I believe 3 is hard to
Nice.
find still. So if
Yeah.
you need it,
Yeah.
grab it. Which I grabbed
Yeah,
them all.
I
because
like
I'm
all
a
3
slave.
too. I think all
Oh,
3
yeah,
are
me too.
pretty solid movies. Yeah.
And you get posters and all that crap too if you buy the certain edition.
Hell
Nice.
yes. They're also NECA's releasing a Halloween 3 Dr. Chalice figure too for those that may be
Ooh,
interested. It's
like
gonna be
that.
limited edition. Yeah. Okay. So 3 letterbox reviews. Guess the movie, and remember the theme.
Okay.
Am I supposed to feel sorry for these annoying ass bitches? Because I sure as shit don't. Matilda took a dark turn.
Carrie.
Incorrect.
No, Matilda. Telekinesis. Oh.
Correct.
He said
I
correct.
said correct. I said correct.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah, no, I think I did start to say incorrect.
You
at first,
thought
but
it was
correct, yes,
Firestarter?
yes, yes. And
I
then
don't know what happened. I thought I got wrong, but I'm right.
the last hint was good for her.
Yeah, exactly. Carrie did nothing wrong.
No.
I remember watching that movie when I was a young man. The opening scene with the
Sure.
ladies in the
Oh,
shower.
God,
Holy
yeah.
shit. All right.
Women can be brutal.
Yeah, Blu-ray. When a group of cannibal savages kidnap settlers from the small town of Bright Hope, an unlikely team of gunslingers led by Sheriff Franklin Hunt.
Oh, I know.
Sets out
It's
to
Bonehawk, Tomahawk. Oh my
You
god.
got it.
Yeah,
Bone Tomahawk.
Bone Tomahawk. This time.
Bone Tomahawk,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a good movie,
Great
man.
movie.
Fucking good
It's-
movie.
yeah.
Great
it's fucking-
movie. Yeah.
All right.
Kurt Russell at his peak. That's a treasure.
So my last one is guess the movie off the IMDb trivia. So it's just trivia.
Okay.
And don't forget, it's all school themed.
Okay.
In unadjusted dollars, this is the 8th all-time highest grossing slasher movie.
Very nice.
The estimated budget for the film is $35 million, making it the most expensive film in this franchise.
It's a lot of money for a slasher.
Halloween H2O.
Wrong.
Yeah. Excellent.
The body count is 6. The
Ooh, that's
victims are Dean, Chris, Jesse, Marcus, Fred, and Gwen. The promotional material for this movie was shipped with the title Back Scratch. And finally, the school board president of one of the 2 high schools the movie was filmed at allowed the movie to be filmed there under the condition no death scenes were being filmed inside the school.
What was the did you give a year? I'm sorry.
I did not. No.
No?
No. It's sometime in the 2000s.
Is it Cry Wolf?
Wrong.
No, it sounds like it's the 8th highest grossing slasher
Yeah,
film of all
of
time.
all
I mean,
time.
it's gotta be
And
something huge.
$35 million budget. So
Yeah, that's
Right?
true. That's a pretty good movie.
Freddy versus Jason.
wrong.
Is it it was filmed in 2 high schools. It's
Yep.
back to school in the 2000s. Expensive as fuck.
I'm thinking it's a Friday 13th or I think it's one
Well,
or
Friday
not Friday
13th, the
13th.
remake
I'm
didn't
thinking
have us school shooting.
right.
You guys
No.
Is it
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm
It's gonna
Street
be
remake?
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
nice.
The body count: Dean, Chris,
Good
Jesse,
one.
Marcus, Fred, and Gwen. Fred is also known as Freddy, who is
Ah.
seen throughout the movie and has been dead the entire time.
Very nice.
And Back
All
Scratch
right.
was also the big other hint.
Scratch.
That movie did make a
Interesting.
lot of money, huh? Wow.
Yeah, it made a ton.
I mean, everyone want to see it.
And it's, as we discussed, underrated. Okay, it's
I
definitely
mean, it's just not.
underrated.
It's,
Come
I
on.
wouldn't say
It's not the
underrated.
worst.
It's
Better
not
than Freddy
terrible. No, yeah, it's not terrible, but I don't know if I'd call it underrated either.
All right, it's better than Part 6 and New Nightmare. Let's go. Let's fight.
I would disagree on that. I think it's definitely better than Part 5 and Part 6, though.
Okay. See, underrated.
I guess.
All right,
It's better
fourth-
than pure dog shit, sure.
Yeah. All right, myself 4 points. Steve and Joe each with 2, which brings me to 19 with my lead. Joe still in
Oh.
second, 12. Steve with 10. Let's go. The Faculty. Who brought this up? The Faculty for us to talk about.
I
So
did. This was
Joseph.
my pick week, but Stephen Todd definitely helped a little bit because I couldn't think of anything. So I kind of was like, "What's a good back to school movie?" Because everyone's heading back to school right now. So yeah, I once this name got thrown out, I was like, absolutely. I think this would be a fun one to discuss and one I hadn't watched in a while. So I was excited to rewatch it.
Cool. All right, The Faculty, directed by Robert Rodriguez, came out in 1998. Take me to your teacher. Nice little tagline there. When some very creepy things start happening around school, the kids at Harrington High make a chilling discovery that confirms their worst suspicions. Their teachers really are from another planet. Okay, so we start off, we're playing football, high school football. We got Robert Patrick, plays, Terminator 2 fame, high school football coach. We got the lead jock, quarterback, star player. He's out there on the field. Robert Patrick's a fucking hard ass, and that comes back to play a little bit later. And then we kind of cut to later that evening, and they're having a staff meeting with the principal and the teachers, and they want more money, blah blah blah. Principal's like, no, you can't have fucking more money. And then the teachers start going crazy because Robert Patrick was attacked on the field after football practice, and now he leads an assault against the principal. And right before she gets she's going to get away, another teacher that came under some kind of spell or possession or takeover, whatever you want to call it, is in on it too. So now we're introduced to our cast of characters after that principal is attacked in the school. We don't know what's going on. So when we see our cast of characters, the teachers are all walking around like normal, but just a little bit different. Robert Patrick is kind of nice now. The lead star quarterback is kind of having a little fucking emo fit about, I don't want to be good at sports anymore. I just want to be normal. So he quits the team thinking Robert Patrick's going to yell at him. He just says, all right, whatever, you're good. So he's like, something's wrong with our teachers. We have Josh Hartnett, who's a fucking overly privileged piece of shit that drives a nice car, and he fucking fishtails, burns out through the fucking school parking lot, which I hate him for. And then he parks in like 4 spots across him. He's a piece of shit. He's also a drug dealer, and his parents are in Europe, so he's got privilege and he's a piece of shit. We have the school reporter. She's a student there too, which I hate, and we'll talk about why. We have Elijah Wood, who plays like the nerd, and we have another. You got a bunch of people in here that are like famous faces now, which is really refreshing to see. But long story short, stuff starts going kind of weird. They witness one of the teachers, the actual Salma Hayek, the nurse, being attacked. No one believes them, so they take it upon themselves to try to, essentially figure out what's happening and defend the school and kill off whatever is invading the teachers. Saw this a long time ago. This is pretty much a fresh watch. I knew some of the story beats and remembered like, oh, I think like there's some drugs, and I think someone fakes taking drugs, and that's revealed later and things like that. But overall, it's pretty much a fresh watch for me. I do have a lot of issues with it. I think it's pretty dumb in aspects, and it's got like this really generic score to it, which I don't like. As far as like action scenes and things like that, it was just like someone picked out a score from Google and put it on there. But overall, it's still entertaining, but not as highly regarded as I thought it was.
Yeah, so I watched this movie a lot growing up, so I have like a ton of nostalgia for it. It like hit me right at the right time. I was like 12 when it finally came out on VHS, so like I just remember like absolutely loving this movie. So I was excited to go back and watch it now. The first thing I think that was really striking was all of the cameos and actors in this movie. I mean, hello, high school horror. You got Piper Laurie in here as Mrs. Olson. You have Selma Hayek. You have fucking I eat pieces of shit for breakfast. The dude from Happy Gilmore in here as well. Shooter McGavin. Yeah, I mean Famke Janssen as well. Jon Stewart. Fucking Usher. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, plus Elijah Wood, who goes on to be, Frodo Baggins. So, yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I think this movie holds up like really well, actually, for me anyway. And I don't know if it's nostalgia or what it is, but I just, yeah, I don't. Just the cast is. I just really love the cast here. I think all of the characters sort of come together, and I just love like all of the sort of high school kids, like sort of like all from different sort of walks of life, just sort of banding together. I really like that aspect. I thought all like sort of the mystery behind the teachers and stuff was really cool. And for a movie that's not like overly gory or anything, like it held my attention like for the good majority of the runtime. I think they keep the mystery like pretty interesting. Yeah, so with the tension, like there's a lot of tension in this, and where it like I feel like really stands out for me is Zeke's sort of drug laboratory scene. I think I absolutely love that scene. I think sort of the sort of tension in that whole scene, just trying to like who is the alien and who's not, which is great, I think, throughout the entire movie. But I think that scene in particular, I really love. But there's many memorable scenes in this for me as well. Also, the scene with Jon Stewart where they sort of attack him. I love that scene as well. But overall, I think it still holds up for me. I do think I wish the Queen alien was a little cooler looking, but I do appreciate that they went mainly practical with that, especially towards the end, which I thought looked kind of cool. But yeah, overall, I really dig it.
So I hadn't seen this since close to its release, probably when it came out on DVD or VHS. I don't remember. So it's, yeah, like Todd, it was almost a fresh watch, except I remembered certain things. It was really cool though to see all the actors that I got to know over the year since this release or since I first saw it. You guys mentioned a few of them. Some of them that stood out to me was Sean Hattie plays Stan. He's one of the main characters in a show I watched called Animal Kingdom. He plays Pope, which was really cool. Jordana Brewster, of course, in the Fast and Furious franchise. So that's pretty awesome to see kind of these actors. They got famous later on. And I enjoy this film. I don't have the nostalgia that Joe has for it. So I'm probably a little bit more critical on it. I might be like somewhere in between your opinions, but I had a good time watching it. I was never really bored. I was interested in seeing what was going on. Of course, I have some issues with it that I'm like, okay, that's really weird. There's some 90s tropes in here. Fucking the hair, for example, Josh Hartnett's hair, absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what I was thinking. And I have like some notes about just random shit. Like, when's the last time you saw soap on a rope? I don't know if that's like in Canada, we don't have those anymore. Yeah, maybe, right? Like,
I've never seen one, honestly.
Oh, really? Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but they appear in movies all the time, especially around the 90s. So I guess it was a thing. Yeah, and I had fun. So that's really kind of my main takeaway with this. And I do find the characters a bit dumb at times. There are a lot of convenient scenes in this as well, like how they come in and out of being drugged like so quickly. That is not how drugs work, or alcohol or anything. You don't just fucking snap out of it out of nowhere. Like, you stay.
Can't pee in a gas tank and fill it up with
That's right. Yeah, you can't puke and then pee in a gas tank. It's yeah, so I have issues, but it's a good one, and I can't wait to discuss some of the kind of bigger points in this one.
You know who wasn't cool seeing in this movie? Danny the Rapist Masterson.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
that didn't age well.
Yeah, I'm like, oh boy, they gotta cut this guy out somehow.
Yeah.
But I have a note here, like, what a piece of shit high school this is. Like, literally, like, falling apart. Put a spackle of paint on the wall for me. I don't know, but I love Robert Patrick, and I think he's great and everything, and he's excellent in this movie. Like, he plays a high school football coach down to the fucking T. Like, he had to have shadowed somebody, because he's like, holy, get the fuck off my film. Like, holy shit. Like, he's amazing. And I have a question. Coach and the principal have fucked before, right? Definitely. Because he walked in her office and gave her those
right.
eyes.
there was definitely some weird like tension there, like, you know, and she like she didn't feel like overly threatened, you know, like when he was right up on her, like it feels like something she's used to. So there might have been
She was great
something
there.
there might have been something, yeah, at one point or the other there. But that's a cool scene in general there where he's like attacking her. I thought that was really cool. That was a really fun little
It
scene there.
starts off very strong, but I cannot
It
stress
does.
enough how much I hate Josh Hartnett in this. And it's the same haircut he had in H2O.
Mm-hmm.
And like, did this like? Do people really fall for this back? Like every woman thought he was the man, right? I just don't get it. Like the stringy ass hair, the stupid like I'm gonna tilt my head forward and like half smile. Not to mention the weird sexual grooming with the teacher. If that was a woman student and that was a man teacher, people would be fucking outraged. But since it's a guy, like I don't know, he's winking at her in the fucking stands. It's weird, man.
Yeah, but didn't we all know, or like someone similar to that? Maybe it was exaggerated in this movie, but there's someone like that in like every high school, right? Like the douchebag who fucking comes in fishtails around the park. I mean, I definitely had a kid in high school that did that. Like would be like the asshole with the fucking loud car that would
It was
fishtail
you,
in the
wasn't
parking
it?
lot and shit. It wasn't me. No, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It
It was
wasn't. I had
Steve with that song from the 2000s, just blasting it.
definitely Steve.
Yeah.
I could see Steve doing that.
Yeah, I was one of the only 4 people in my high school that drove to school. So in my graduating year. So
You're not getting
yeah.
away with anything with just 4 cars there.
Yeah, exactly. No, I didn't like Josh Hartnett's character in this. It just seemed too convenient too. Like he's both dumb but also the smartest guy ever. And his lab was way too elaborate for someone like, is he fucking Spider-Man?
Walter White, dude.
You know, like it didn't, I don't know, it just didn't mesh with me. Yeah, there's a lot of things like that in this whole thing that and like, although I did like Elijah Wood's character, I thought he was fun. I love when fucking Shooter McGavin finds his porn stash. That was so fucking funny.
My note, they took Frodo's porn away.
Yeah, come on, under the mattress. That's so amateur. Like, yeah. Guys, obviously, not never
Where'd you
been
guys
talked
hide
about.
your porn at?
Between my wrestling magazine. So I had a subscription to
You got
to
Stone
Raw
Cold
and WWE
and Roddy Piper.
magazine.
I
And I'd like slip it inside the magazine.
That's so
So
funny.
my stack was just wrestling magazines, but yeah.
That's pretty good. I like that.
I think I definitely did the in between the mattress thing. I think I definitely did that at one point or the other.
I put them under like Xbox games, but it was
Love
quickly
it.
found.
Yeah. Yeah. I did do that with some of like the porn DVDs. I'd put them in like Xbox game like things like under the Xbox game though. So like it looked like
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
The good old days.
Now it's just all online. You guys have no idea how hard it was. I gotta say too, Jordana Brewster, I fucking hate her too. Like, no high school paper is that important. I don't give a shit what high school you're
Yeah,
at.
but
She's walking around like she's fucking Scream, whatever, Gail Weathers here. Shut up.
Yeah, but every person who is like the editor in chief of a school newspaper thinks it's the most fucking important thing. And
You're right, but I still hate her.
know. Yeah, her
And her,
character's interesting.
and her stupid fucking disguise. She's
What,
wearing
the glasses?
It's like
Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden she's like really ugly or something. Like, oh
Yeah,
my
like,
God,
no,
your
she still
glasses
looks
on.
great.
Like,
Like,
what are you talking
about? But what'd you guys think of that scene? I guess like, I think they do a really good job of disguising like who's in, like, especially with the teenagers. Obviously, like, you know, all the teachers and stuff. But like, did you ever have an inkling that Delilah was sort of the alien when we get to that sort of?
I mean,
The reveal?
they have that clue moment, right, where they give everyone's motivations as to why they could be the one. I you know, as I remembered a little bit who it was, like maybe that is why I knew, but I had a feeling it would be her because she had just showed up to school, like conveniently.
She had the glasses.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, but I don't know. That could also be because I remembered, like, deep in my mind that that's who it was. But yeah, other than that, though, it's not overly obvious who it is.
Yeah, I liked how when they showed her fake out, she spills all the drugs and no one noticed it.
Oh yeah,
Really
right.
dumped out the entire pen. I'm surprised you like. Yeah, I'm surprised you like that scene a lot, Joe, because it pretty much mirrors the thing. Just
It does.
Not as good.
It does, and maybe that's why I did like it. And I think that's obviously Robert Rodriguez definitely borrowing from a lot of movies. This came out actually like just a few months after From Dusk Till Dawn, which is like one of his masterpieces. So it's
Oh, wow.
interesting that he would go from Dusk Till Dawn to this. But this was also written by Kevin Williamson. So shout out Scream and whatnot. And I think you can definitely see some of the sort of ideas sort of borrowed from other horror movies and stuff like that in this. But yeah, so you get the Delilah scene, and then you get the big reveal of who is the Queen Alien. Did you guys ever have? Do you think Mary Beth was like a good sort of reveal? I guess she's the only one, right? Because she is sort of the new girl and whatnot. But I think it's a good red herring, sort of where she does do the dump out with the drugs. So it's kind of they do a good job of sort of disguising it. But once we get to that reveal, were you guys like surprised?
I liked her reveal.
Oh
In
yes.
the locker room.
I
Yes.
felt a little like disappointed because
Okay.
it was covered with pasties. Yeah, so it was like, oh, really? Come on.
Not my Blu-ray.
Oh, really? I
don't
watched
think
it
so.
on
And
Amazon.
I
guess
doubt
so.
they filmed it twice, but
Yeah,
maybe
right.
there's some weird edit. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, it was a cool reveal. No, I didn't see it coming, other than I knew what it was before. So that was a good reveal.
What did you think of her look? Did you like the Queen Alien look, or do you think they could have did something cooler?
I liked it. It was unique. It was different. It felt like a video game queen. Like when you get to the end boss of a video game, like something like Metroid or something. I really liked that look. Actually, I liked a lot of the looks. If we go to the horror part of this movie, I liked the creepy old lady in the shower, the body that's in the closet there. That is a big plot point. When it got to the horror stuff, I really enjoyed it. Even the melting scenes I thought were really rad. Like when Jon Stewart, who somehow survived, which anyway, that's a whole other thing. His melting scene was really awesome.
So can the aliens repair human bodies?
It
'Cause the
seems
girl
like
got her head cut off.
right.
And she has,
Yeah,
like, a
right.
scarf
Like
covering
that.
it, but-
Right. That is like the weird, I guess, sort of thing in this movie is like, okay, like once you kill the queen, like everyone just miraculously like comes back to life. Like, I don't know how that works. Like, it doesn't
the
make
hive mind.
it's
Yeah,
very convenient. Very convenient.
very, yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny. She had a scarf covering her severed head. And then I didn't like I didn't like the overly sappy ending with like everyone like
Everyone
nerdy
finding
guy
love.
gets
Everyone
gets the reporter, the hot chick, and the jock gets the emo girl. It's like, come on.
who's not emo anymore. Like I always hate that.
She
Like-
took her black mascara off.
Yeah, it's so dumb. And then with the teacher too, with Josh Hartnett, like
That's fucking weird, man.
everyone needed a fucking like love
It's
story
weird,
in this.
dude.
Like bullshit. Yeah, it's super weird.
And he got held back, right, once. So I think that's why they're trying to make it not weird. I think
Yeah.
that's the whole reason they put that in there. Well, he's
Still
19,
inappropriate.
20.
Yeah, he's still in
1920.
high school.
So weird.
Yeah. Still, that teacher would still get in some trouble, I think, for that one.
I like that in the movie, one of their theories is that movies made aliens. So they're talking about like Steven Spielberg having been an alien and stuff like that. I thought that was hilarious. That would have been cool if it was turned out to be true.
What do you like? I guess what are your? I know, like Todd, you're probably the weakest on this. Like, what is your like? I guess what would be like? What's your like biggest gripe? Would you say like with the movie?
I guess our two lead characters or lead-ish characters, I don't like Josh Hartnett at all. Not the actor, the character. Jordana Brewster's character is stupid. It's just like all a little bit too convenient, a little bit too nicely put together. There's no real stakes and no one really dies except, well, all the teachers come back then, right? So no one dies except
Yeah,
maybe
everyone.
How do they explain killing homeboy with the eye and burning him?
They don't like they don't
just fucking
explain
dead?
it. Everyone just reappears at the end, which like sure other movies have done it before, but it's like okay, like these aliens take over the host bodies, and you would think if you're getting fucking melted, like how like everyone's just it's like it was like all a dream sort of. It's like a dream sequence thing, you know what I mean? Where like everyone's just alive again, like it's kind of like kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street, right? Like the ending of Nightmare on Elm Street, like everyone's just alive again, like after Freddy is defeated, sort of. But like, or is that just a dream sequence?
Yeah,
Right, like that whole thing is like really weird. That whole ending of the original Nightmare on Elm Street too. But Yeah, like that. I do agree. Like that, the ending is very convenient that they're able to sort of bring everyone back. Like it is kind of silly now that I sort of think about it.
Yeah, I think the aliens should have won in this one, and
Oh,
turned out like kind of like the Vision Body Snatchers, where humans don't win. I think that'd be really cool
Mm.
to have not a happy ending for everybody. Everyone gets fucked. I mean, cool.
I think you do it like today, you probably could get an ending like that, but the '90s was just so like sort of not about that, you know. And this movie's obviously very '90s, but I think as far as like '90s sort of teen horror, this is definitely one of the better ones. If you look back at like all the other bullshit that came out of the '90s, I think this one actually has a pretty fun sort of not unique plot, but they did some different things with it. I think that not everyone else was doing, and I think that's probably because Robert Rodriguez was attached to it, is why it is as good as it was. In the hands of a different director, I think this movie really could have been like very forgettable and dog shit. But with him at the helm, I think it definitely elevated this movie and the cast, obviously too. I mean, it's just a fantastic cast as well here. What the fuck were they sniffing though? It was like just pure caffeine.
Well, you said
Like,
caffeine pills and household
other
items.
households.
So
Yeah.
who
Probably
knows?
pixie sticks like we all did when we were kids.
Yeah. Now, I actually wonder how many fucking side hustles he has, because he's selling like condoms, he's selling fake porn.
Yeah,
Like,
because Nev never went.
Ned and Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the same movie.
Not at that time. Yeah.
It's just what a weird fucking, like, what the hell? Like, what's he running? Is he like Red from Shawshank Redemption? Like he just has access to everything that he needs. It's weird. Yeah. Oh, and I had two more notes. These are minor. This is like Todd Gripes. I don't know why they came to
Todd
be involved.
Gripes.
Yeah.
The character's button wasn't buttoned right.
Two Todd Gripes I had.
I
Number
love it.
one,
Subset. We need to have a subsection for Todd Gripes.
Todd Gripes. Why the fuck are they shooting off fireworks in the middle of the football game as they're playing? Like, it's not a touchdown or anything. It's just like a tackle, and fucking fireworks are just going off for absolutely no reason. You know, that's a Todd
It
Gripe
looked
right
cool
there.
for the
It did,
camera. That's
but
pretty
it
much
made
it.
no sense at all. And
No.
the other Todd Gripe I have is when Stan turns into an alien, he puts on the football uniform to join the team. Why? Like, he actually.
That's how you know he's. That's how you know he's
I know,
officially an
it's
alien.
so fucking dumb.
He wants the ball.
Yeah, so those are my two Todd Gripes for this week.
I love it. You know what I do appreciate this movie though, like having an actor like Usher. He wasn't in it a lot, which I was thankful for, because usually when you go from musician to actor is not the greatest. So
He
I
was
appreciate that.
barely known at that time though. It's his first
Oh,
acting
really?
role. Yeah. This is like.
Is he an
early
actor
Usher.
now? Like actor?
No, he's like a producer, I think.
Yeah.
And we have him to blame for Justin Bieber, right? So.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I got
Canada's
Bieber fever.
finest.
Todd Gripe, I like it.
Yeah, being a new segment to our show.
That's not how you cook eggs.
Right. What was that one with Dead Snow where it's like something about a porta potty and you didn't
Oh,
like
well
it?
that's valid though, man, because he's taking a shit, and then the girl comes in as he's taking a shit, and she starts riding him. So that's gross. That's valid.
Well, they're all valid. It's just, I don't know, they're funny because they're not important to the plot at all. It's just
Here's my other question. In the football scene, right? Like, which was actually a pretty fun scene. Like, where the fuck are they getting these? Are they like pulling them out of their own bodies when they're putting the like things, those
They're doing
creature
snot
things
rockets.
into the football players of the opposing team, which I thought was kind of cool to show like how they're turning them. But like, where the fuck are they getting these little fucking
you see them like
things from?
come out of their face like almost like spikes.
Right.
I'm assuming there are multiple, because when you see Jordana Brewster's character and she takes the stuff, you see like a ton of them in her face.
Right.
So I'm assuming there's a bunch of them and they just pull them out and
Just pulling them out, huh?
yeah,
All
yeah, and dropping in.
I did love the scene though where they're just wrecking the other team, because they have like
right.
they kind of have super strength now, but it's not really like dived into that well.
Yeah, it was fun. And the scene that John Stewart where they like, you know, they find it and then they put it into the water. I thought that was really fun too, like how it like fucking like became two and shit, and then we get the close up of him biting it. You know,
Why did he want to touch it so bad? It's so weird.
Right?
Like,
He was like, didn't he say like he wants to check its prostate too? I'm like, really?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah, yeah.
necessary?
I think that was a joke
what
with
the
the glove, though.
I was like, what
Yeah,
the fuck?
yeah, that was just a rubber
Is he
glove.
Start
doing?
diddling it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. I guess I missed that. But like, yeah, what the fuck? You don't know what this thing is, but you want to put your hand in there to touch it? Like, you're just asking for trouble, man.
Did you guys notice his disappointment when Josh Hartnett like shoved him aside to get on the what is that fucking the lab equipment thing? I forget what it's called, but
The microscope.
there you go. He pushes him aside, and his face is just like
Yeah.
one of like he
And
just
then-
got punked by a student.
Yeah. And then Josh Hartnett's like a scientist. All of a sudden, he's saying all this like
knows everything.
fancy mumbo jumbo and shit.
He steals shit
Yeah.
from the high school lab, just like Walter White does. He cooks in his fucking little. I hate him. He's fucking the worst, man. Do you think it's a connecting universe though? Josh Hartnett is the same character in Faculty that he is in H2O because he's a little piece of shit,
yes.
and he goes to like a
Mhm.
private school.
Transferred schools because
Let's
he's got
see.
too much
Let's
PTSD.
see.
So,
Yeah,
mhm.
let's connect
Yes.
it.
Love it.
Same
All right, we
haircut
rating this
still.
sucker.
Yep.
It is the same haircut. All right, I'll start us off. Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I got a lot of nostalgia for this movie, so I'm probably coming in higher than it probably deserves. But I still think it's a good movie, regardless of that. I think it's a really fun time. One of the better sci-fi horror movies to come out of the '90s for sure, and I think it's a great alien movie in general. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
All right, I'm a little bit lower and I shit on it a lot, but I still think it's a fun movie. One of the better 90s slashers for sure. 90s horror in general, actually. And I'm a 3 out of 5.
Yes, once again in the butthole of the of opinions here. I'm at 3.5 out of 5. I had a lot of fun with it. I don't think it's one of the best movies, but I enjoyed the experience anyway, and I was happy to finally revisit it because I've been wanting to revisit it for a while. We mention it once in a while on the podcast, so it's been on my list, and I was glad to finally kind of do the episode.
A butthole
Very
of
nice.
opinions.
Like in the
like
middle.
it.
Yes,
In the
I
middle,
know.
yeah, between the two cheeks, yeah,
Love
You
it.
gotta put that on a shirt.
yeah, right. I'm sure that would sell well.
We'll do it. Yes, we'll do it. We'll like just be like the butthole of opinions, and it'll be like two cheeks spread. And it'll be Steve's face in the middle.
Yeah, right.
I'd buy one.
All right, guys, that is going to be it for this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed our review of The Faculty. Next week, we are going to be checking out 28 Days Later, which was Todd's pick. In the meantime, you can keep up with the podcast, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads. Just search the Horror Squad Podcast. You can also email us anytime, the Horror Squad Podcast at gmail.com. But of course, as you know, the absolute best way to keep up with the podcast is our Discord. All you gotta do is send us a DM through any of our socials or email, and we will send you a link to join the Discord, completely free to join. We got everything over there. We got Movie Club. We got Gaming Club as well now. I
Got
just
fantasy
got
football.
Yes. Fantasy football. That's right. We got Fantasy Football League now. But yeah, I acquired an Xbox. I haven't set it up yet, but I am going to be jumping in on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre gaming as well very soon. So I'm very excited for that. But yeah, so jump in on the Discord. It is a great community over there. You got to do it, folks. You can also buy merch if you would like to support the podcast, tpublic.com. Just search the Horror Squad Podcast over on there, and you can pick up some merch. Hopefully, we'll have some new merch coming soon, possibly for our event. Also, ladies and gentlemen, October 20th through the 22nd, Salem, Massachusetts. It is going to be a great time. Full details coming extremely soon. I actually have a Zoom meeting immediately after this episode. So hopefully we can release details on that very, very soon. Just keep an eye on our socials for that, or our Discord, of course. We've already given some hints over on the Discord for that event, but save those dates. Also save the dates. June of next year, I can't remember the dates right now, but June of next year, I believe. Oops.
The 7th, I think.
June. Okay. June, the weekend of June 7th, I think 5th through the 7th, we are going to be hitting up Monroeville Mall in Pennsylvania, Living Dead weekend. The whole squad is planning to be there for that. So June 2024, save those dates. You can check out Living Dead weekend. Hotel blocks already on sale for that. So if you want for that, we are going to be checking out Dawn of the Dead filming locations, Night of Living Dead filming locations. Plus there's going to be a con that same weekend. So it's going to be a great time. So 2 weekends, save those dates. It'll be a great time. And I think that's about it. So we'll see you guys next week for 28 Days Later. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.